from Jagrata. There are two ways you can approach life, and they make the entire difference in your whole life. One is to say, what life is about and what I am about is achieving things, attaining things, sustaining things, collecting things, proving things, fixing things. It's about doing something with this world. The other is to say, the only thing that needs fixing is me. The only thing there is to do is to achieve the greatness which is within me. And this world is only practice place. It's a practice place for achieving greatness within me. There is really nothing to do or achieve or prove or get in this world. It is just practice. It's a teacher. It's just a step along the way to enlightenment, to self-realization. Those two views of life are so drastically different. And depending upon which way you see what's going on, your whole life will be completely different. If you feel that there's something to achieve, something to do, you're going to be very busy. And you might even get upset inside. You might get frustrated. You might get angry. You might get scared. All kinds of stuff. Jealous, insecure. All kinds of stuff can go on inside of you. And in fact, it will, because things are not the way you want them to be outside. And since the purpose of life is to make things the way you want to be that way outside, then if that is not happening, that's tremendous failure. That's terrible. You start feeling not worth anything. All the psychology stuff starts happening inside of you. If on the other hand, your view of life is, it is here to challenge me and teach me about finding the greatness, the peace, the love, the harmony, the wisdom, the depth, the transcendence inside of me, then there is no wrong. There's only the next event that happens which is trying to teach me something, which is trying to show me something. And there's nothing I can do wrong. I can only do the best I can at learning to find the greatness inside of me as these different situations challenge and unfold outside of me. So there is no anxiety. There's no fear. There's no tension. Because it's not you against life. It's you in harmony with life. It's you with life. And life can never do anything wrong, ever. It can just create a new challenge for you to see whether you can stay high, centered, clear, having fun in the face of the new challenge. If you can't, then you're grateful. Not angry or frustrated. You're grateful for the opportunity to find where you still have growth, where you're not done yet. Because you can't leave till you're done. You can't achieve what you've set as your goal till you can stand in the presence of whatever life puts before you. What a difference. What a totally different way to live life. I call that way the way of the yogi. But it's the way of any deep being who has realized you were born onto a planet spinning around the middle of absolutely nowheres, and very soon you will leave, and no one will remember you. And it doesn't make any difference. There have been billions and billions and billions of you little boogers that have come through on the planet and then left, and you left it behind. Whatever it is you thought you achieved, rotted. Whatever you thought you did, whatever you thought had any meaning, goodbye, gone. You understand that? How many of them do you remember? A handful. They're in the history books. There have been billions of them, billions and billions, with all their hopes and all their dreams and all their wants and desires. And they dropped down onto a planet, ran around for a while, making noise, and left. And the planet is in the middle of absolutely nowheres. How can you sit there and say you're going to do something? What great meaning have you given to this? Spinning around the middle of absolute infinite nowheres. That is not the meaning. There is no meaning like that. I think the universe made it purposely absurd Now that you can see that little ball spinning in the middle of nowhere, just spinning around its axis, for you to think that there's meaning there. For you to think that you're going to do something and it matters. It doesn't matter. There's only one thing that matters. How are you doing? Not what are you doing. Because you ain't doing squat. You got that straight? No matter what it is, you ain't doing squat. Like that ant's really busy and you're real busy. It is absolutely nothing. How could you possibly get frustrated? About what? About the fact that the earth has continued to spin on its axis like it's done billions and billions and billions of times and rotate through the heavens? How do you get frustrated? That the sun came up this morning, it'll go down at night like it has billions and billions and billions of times? It's crazy. How can you get upset? How can you get angry? How can you get scared? How can you get jealous? How can you do anything? Anything. Because one animal on the planet looked at somebody else, you freak out? At what point are you going to wake up? There's something drastically wrong here. It's not so healthy. There's nothing happening. You would drop down onto a planet, you get to see what's going on, and then you leave. How can you let it bother you? Can you imagine if you're an anthropologist, you're the new breed of space anthropologists, and you get to go to the moon first. And you go on up there and you walk around, and lo and behold, underneath one of those craters, you find things running around. Intelligent life. You tell me whether you're going to feel jealous because they're talking to each other and one's by and doesn't talk to you next. You just start writing in your book. Holy mackerel. What if he runs up to you and goes, ah, and runs away? You're going to feel hurt? You're going to get hurt, feel rejected, or something like that? You better not. You just write in your book. Look what they did next. That's neat. What if one of those little moon people run up there, kick you in the shins? Wow, kick me in the shins. You know, call the police and have them arrested for assault or something. It's just an event that's weird and freaky, and you just write it down in your anthropology book. Well, why is this any different? You drop down onto a planet in the middle of nowhere, you spin around for a few years, and all kinds of weird stuff happens to you. How do you get upset? How do you get jealous? How do you get scared? How do you feel dejected or repressed or anything? There's only one way that you feel all those things. You forgot what life was about. Or no one ever taught you, or you never looked at it. Life is about having fun with life. It's like going to Disney World. It's just a series of events that happen to you before you die. You're just on your way to death, guys. Every day, getting a little bit closer. And the question is, are you having fun? But instead, what people do, and this is what creates all those psychological sicknesses, they don't want to experience life. They want to create life. They want to play God. I don't want to come down, go visit Mars, and see the little Martians run around and write it in my book. Because when I was young, I read one of these books about Mars, H.G. Wells, and it doesn't look like that. And it's supposed to. So what I want is to make it look like the Martians are supposed to look. Well, now you're going to get upset, aren't you? Now you're going to get frustrated. They didn't do that in the book you read. They didn't behave like that. There was nothing like that. What's wrong here? And you go about your business trying to make Mars look the way it's supposed to. You would definitely get frustrated, upset, sick, end up with neuroses doing that, wouldn't you? Doesn't make any sense. You have the honor to go and visit Mars and see what it's like. But instead, you decide to make Mars be the way you think it should be. You're playing God. Not one of you would do that. But why do you do it on Earth? Why? Why is it different to visit Mars than to visit Earth? It's the same thing. You just drop down on Earth. You're a guest. You're a visitor. You didn't make Mars. You didn't make the Earth. You're here to observe. You're here to experience. You're here to see. You're here to enjoy, appreciate, be blown away, be in awe that it exists. In the middle of space, there's this. There's just darkness all around for light years and billion of infinity. And there's all this going on, and you get to see it. That is how a yogi lives their life. There is nothing to do, just like there's nothing to do with those people on Mars. It's just the joy of experiencing it. It's just the honor of getting to see it. You were way back and you saw a little planet way down there. I wonder what it would be like to go there. It was kind of blue. Well, you got to go there. This is what it's like to be here. Believe it or not, what's happened to you so far is what it's like to be on Earth. If you went way back away and you just looked down and the whole solar system was a star, like when we look at the stars, and then you went closer and closer and you saw those 8 little pearls spinning around. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then the third thing out there, you look at it and it's blue. And you say, I want to see what it would be like to stand on that planet in the middle of nowhere. What would it be like? Well, you were granted your wish. This is what it's like. You say, no. That's not what it's supposed to be like. They're not supposed to be people running around killing people. They're not supposed to be all these laws and all these rules and all this stuff and all this anger and you can't trust people and there's people who divorce you and they leave you and this happens. And you think, oh my God, you could give me a laundry list, couldn't you? Of what things are out there. And there's supposed to be places where you don't get the raise and somebody else does. And that's like, oh, it's not supposed to be like that on that planet, is it? Well, you're wrong. That is what it is like on the planet Earth. Have you noticed? If you go to Mars, you'll find out what it's like on Mars. If you go to Earth, you find out what it's like on Earth. You have no right, none, nobody sent you down here to change it. Nobody. It has been like this for thousands of years. It is how it is. It's neither right nor wrong. You go up to those Martians and you visit their planet, you have no right to say, oh, this one's right and that one's wrong. How would you know? Based on what position of relativity are you deciding what they're doing right or wrong? Right and wrong don't exist in the anthropological glossary, do they? No true anthropologist would ever use the words. I went to this culture, I started thinking, what they did was so wrong. They didn't know how to eat properly with their eating utensils. They held them sideways. And they don't dress well. You should have seen what they were wearing. That person cannot be an anthropologist. That's not fair. Maybe Ann Landers would be like that or something, all right? But you can't send her to be an anthropologist. It's crazy. What you're doing is bringing a value system that you have no right to have. And you're imposing it upon these things that are Martians. Well, I think the wise person lives on Earth that way. Where did you get your judgment system? That you come down onto Earth, which is a planet spinning in the middle of nowheres, and you start applying your judgments onto everything that's going on. Because I'll tell you a secret. That's what makes you sick. Earth doesn't make you sick. People don't make you sick. They're fascinating. They're interesting. They're all different. They do different things. And all kinds of things go on. It is because you don't want them to that it makes you sick. You resist reality. And that tension of resistance creates fear, insecurity, jealousy, all the psychological things. When they tell you are normal, they are not normal. You do not have to be experiencing those things. You experience them because you set what you like against what you dislike. You did that inside yourself. You decided, I don't want this person to behave that way. Well, if you don't want that person to behave, I'd like to explore that for a moment first. Which way is that? Because the answer is the way that they are. I don't want that person to be what they are. I want snakes to stand up and walk like men. All right? This is crazy. Things are, and they have their nature, and there are reasons that they are that way. And I don't know where you have the right to come down and visit this planet and say, you don't get to be like this, and you don't get to be like that, and you don't get to be like this, and you have to be like that, and you should be like this. That's going to make you sick, isn't it? You want to know why? Because he's not going to be like that, and she's not going to be like that, and that person's not going to be like that. Oh, if you really give them a lot of grief, they'll make believe they're like that. Have you noticed? They'll put on a good front, and whenever you're around, they'll be very different than the way they really are, at least for a short period of time, all right? And that's what you're going to get. Otherwise, they're going to be themselves. And that's what you get by setting aside how people are supposed to be. You know how people are supposed to be? Open your eyes. Let those who have eyes to see, let them see. Let those who have ears to hear, let them hear. Things are the way they are. They are neither right nor wrong. They are the result of all that ever was. You are an anthropologist. You're visiting the planet Earth. Take notes. Don't judge. Now, isn't it amazing that in every single major deep scripture, you will hear those words. Judge not that ye shall not be judged. In the third Zen patriarch, he says, you will finally cease the burdensome practice of judging. That's beautiful words. The burdensome practice of judging. That's what causes the whole thing, is that you forgot that you are a guest and you're only here for the blink of an eye. And you got into your head that you got to decide how everybody's going to be. And you got to decide what tomorrow's going to hold. And you got to decide what the whole earth is supposed to be like. And then you go about your business fighting with what is. And that resistance, that thing of setting aside what you like from what you dislike, I swear to you, so it causes all disturbances inside of you. That is what does it. That's what causes all the emotions I was talking about. It's energy messing up energy. That's what it is. The world is energy. It wants to embrace you. It wants to come into you. It wants to touch you. It wants to pass through you. You get to, look, flowers come in many shapes and sizes. What's wrong with that? Why should every single flower in this world be a lily or a rose? Everything on the side of the road a rose. Everything in every garden a rose. Everything in every place a rose. Everything in every culture, every climate, everywhere is just roses. How would you feel about it? Echo. Wouldn't it be? The beauty is there's phlox and there's roses and there's weeds and there's baby's breath and there's billions and billions of different types of flowers, aren't there? And that variety, that beauty touches you differently. There's billions and billions of different types of people. There's beautiful people, and there's ugly people, and there's angry people, and there's kind people, and there's murderous people, and there's people that like to help other people. Just like there's real flowers that have thorns on them, and there's flowers that eat people. Well, they don't eat people, but they eat flies and stuff, all right? And it's just a flower, just when it eats it. Okay? You would think that at least a vegetable would be vegetarian. What's this world coming to? I've heard of animals eating vegetables, but now you have vegetables eating animals. It's just a very interesting place, this world you live in. And it's not right or wrong. Is it right or wrong that plants eat animals? It's neither right nor wrong. It's what is. It's fascinating is what it is. It's neither right nor wrong. It's fascinating. It's awesome. It's wow. Blow my mind. That's what it is. Well, that's what it is that all these different people are all these different ways too. It's how it is. And basically, a truly healthy person understands their situation, their predicament in life. They're a guest, a sojourner, a visitor on the planet Earth. And you will be alive for X number of years, and X is not very large in this case. What do you want to do? Fight with it? Or experience it, enjoy it, participate in it? What are you going to do at the end when someone says, did you have fun? When you're done with life, the only question the angels ask you is, did you have fun down there? What's it like down there? I want to know, did you have fun? And if the best you can do is sit there and say, oh, I was supposed to have fun? How can you not have fun? Is it boring? Nothing ever happens to you? No, your life is so fascinating, you don't know what to do with yourself. Every minute is changing and all these things happen. You meet all these people and everything's different and nothing's ever like you thought it would be. Wow, that's good. That's really neat. That means it's a good game. Otherwise you get bored. If nothing's ever the way you thought it would be, are you saying that as a positive thing or a negative thing? What if you had no idea what tomorrow was going to be? What if I gave you a doll when you were young and you could pull on a little string and the doll would say, hello, my name is Annie, right? What if every day you pull on a string, it says something different, and you couldn't figure out why? And you pull on the string and say, I love you. Tomorrow you pull on the string and say, I need to go home. It's like you would wake up every day fascinated to pull that string. If every day says, hello, my name is Annie, you don't stop pulling that string. You stop after 5 days. You pull it, shut up. Okay? This time you wake up, it's fascinating. In other words, to not know what's going to happen is a gift. So why are you complaining? I don't know what's going to happen to me. I'm so... What? Oh, good. Oh, good. Right? Oh, my husband and I are having trouble, and I don't know how it will end up. Oh, isn't that neat? You're so lucky. Is that what you're telling me? This is good, like the little doll and pulling on the thing? I don't know. I lost my job, and I don't know where I'm going to live. Wow, another I don't know. It's so fascinating. What a wonderful experience. What's wrong with not knowing? What's wrong with every day being new? What's wrong with there being constant challenges for you to draw upon yourself to see how you're going to deal with different situations? I've never had anything like this happen to me before. Wow, people pay big bucks for unique experiences. Well, you're having one, you just told me. Nothing like this ever happened to me before. Wow, what'd you pay for that? But you complain about all these things. It's almost as if I could give you a card and say, what do you want? You would hand it back and say, I want this person to be like this, and I want this to be like this, and I don't want this to ever change. I want this like this, and I want this like this, and then I want it sealed and locked so I don't have to worry about it. Is that really what you want? Is that really what you want? Which one of you guys saw Bill Murray in Groundhog Day? Right? Would you really like every single day to play itself over again, exactly the same? Like, on the TV shows, those kind of families, every day they come home. Hi, darling. Hi, darling. How are you? What's for dinner? Blah, blah. I think every time it's just the same old thing. Nothing changes. Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about it one iota. Everything's the same. No. You would get bored to death. It would be no fun. It would not challenge you at all. You think it would be safe. It would be terrible. I told you. What would you do if you liked a sport, like basketball? Well, a lot of people like to play basketball. All right? I'm going to be even better. I would do the basketball. It's baseball season. Let's do baseball. A lot of people like to watch baseball. You're sitting there, you're watching baseball, the bottom of the ninth, your team's a few runs behind, bases loaded, 2 men out, 3-2 count, and up comes your batter, and he hits a home run, and you win the game. What if that happened every single time anyone went to bat at every single game? Every single game, they hit a home run. Every single batter hits a home run every single time. How many people you think would go to the ballpark? How many would turn on the TV? 0. Oh, you mean you really don't want things to be the way you want them to be? It's like you start looking at it in the eye. Something's wrong. Something got messed up in the whole thing. And you try to see what it is, and you realize what happened was you burned yourself. Instead of understanding that life was about experiencing life, you decided life was about making life be the way you want. And you started fighting with people and fighting with things. And a tremendous amount of anxiety and tension got created. And the anxiety and the tension became so overbearing that you became afraid of them. Afraid of them. You became afraid that somebody would say something to you that would create more anxiety and tension. You became afraid that somebody would do something to make you feel jealous. You're afraid that this would happen or that would happen to create disturbance inside of you. So you started trying to avoid things so they wouldn't create all the disturbances. And so that's when you started saying, well, I don't want it to be like that. I don't want it to be like that. When really what you mean is I don't want to be disturbed, and I don't want to feel anxious, and so I can't have you be like that. And there's too many people in this room anyways, or there's not enough or something. I don't know. It's like that's what you end up doing. You end up trying different things by forcing situations to see, oh, did I feel a little better? In other words, it's broken. And because it's broken inside, you're trying to rearrange life to make it be better. And that is what broke it. That's what we're missing. What broke the whole experience, which is a beautiful experience, all of it. What broke the whole experience was deciding how you want it to be and honestly believing that somehow it's supposed to be that way. Sometimes we amaze me. We amaze ourselves. As you wake up one day and you make something up, and then somehow you decide it's right. That's how it's supposed to be. Period. You wake up one morning and you say, the kids, darling, the kids, they're teenagers. They shouldn't be living at home anymore. This is crazy. Why are our kids still at home? And you get up, go into the kids' room, get out. Get out. What are you doing still at home? Back 50, 100, 300 years ago, people had kids at 17. You shouldn't be here. Go get a job, work, do something. You know? And it's like you just get that in your head, and then you go and you start fighting with everybody. And so now the kids all get upset, and then they go out, and they start doing drugs. It's like you make a complete mess of everything instead of experiencing things. You try to force them and fight with them. And then you become psychologically ill. Psychological illness comes from setting aside what you like from what you dislike. It is not natural to have problems. What is natural is to feel love. What is natural is to feel peace. What is natural is to feel joy, welling joy, excitement like a child, lest ye be as little children. That everything that happens is just, whoa, look at that. No matter what it is. You sit there and you get in an accident. And you sit there and you say, wow, I got in an accident. Look what happened. Oh, I get to call the police. I wonder what they're going to be like. And it's all a journey, an experience, a happening. And something inside of you is enthused about it. It's like watching TV. It's like going to the movies. But it's 3D. Every single thing is fine. It's exciting. It's a journey. And then you die. Don't worry about it. You won't have to stay. That is what it means to be healthy psychologically. Nothing is overwhelming to you. Nothing is like, ooh, do I have to do this again? It's all like, wow. Not ooh, wow. Just change the letters around a little bit. And so you sit there and you say, well, why am I not like that? I'm telling you why. The only reason you're not like that is because you are fighting with things instead of experiencing things. All right? You have set up what you like against what you dislike. And what you like makes you happy, doesn't it? And what you dislike makes you miserable. So you wake up eventually and you say, I'll stop doing that. That's what a healthy person says. I'm just going to like it all. I just think it's exciting. Everything that's happening is fascinating. And I will never forget that not only is it fascinating, but it's all happening on a planet spinning in the middle of nowhere. And that's that. And you teach yourself to think like that, to remember that. You stay reminded of that. And you challenge yourself not to say, what can I create, what can I make, what can I do? But to sit there and say, what am I capable of experiencing inside of me while this world goes around its business? Can I be high, whole, complete, in ecstasy, in joy, and love with every single person, every single event, every single word, every single thing that happens? Or do I have to come down? And you just say to yourself, I'm not going to come down. Why would I come down? Down is no fun. I want to stay whole and happy and filled with it. And so basically, you now say to life, come on, bring what you will. Love me when you want to love me. Hate me when you want to hate me. Marry me when you want to marry me. Leave me when you want to leave me. Because every drop of it is fun. It's fun to have somebody fall in love with you and all that joy and all that specialness. And it's fun to get hurt when somebody leaves you and runs off with somebody else. Why not? It's just another experience that goes on the planet Earth. And you get to experience it firsthand. You get to feel the human heart hurt. How else would you know the human heart could do that if you don't have the honor of experiencing it? And you just constantly open more and more and honor the experiences of life. If you do that, you will have a beautiful life. No longer should a yogi or a yogini define a beautiful life as life being a certain way outside. A beautiful life is that you feel it beautiful inside. You're having a beautiful life. How'd you do last year? Well, my wife left me, my father and mother died, I found out that so-and-so was stealing from me, and this happened and that happened. Really, yeah, quite it was fun. I grew a lot last year. I had a whole bunch of experiences that I never had before, and they all happened at the same time. It was really fun. Well, wasn't it challenging? Of course it was challenging. It was challenging to stay open. It was challenging to let even that pass through. How'd you do? I did fine. Well, what did you learn? I learned that I don't have to worry about a single thing that ever happens ever again because it can't get any worse than that. And the day that you're fine, that's what you have to remember. The day that you're fine with the worst cards that can be dealt out is the day you will never feel fear again. Because you know, it's not so bad. I'm okay. As long as you know you're going to be okay, why bother worrying? Just enjoy it. And you start liberating yourself. That's what it means to be free. Is that you're open to the various experiences that will inevitably unfold in life. And you just let them unfold. And then you do something even greater than that. That's called pure witness consciousness. But that's not the highest state. The highest state is when you live there, and then you realize, gee, that was hard to get transcendent. And now all these things are happening, and they're not touching me. I'm out of the water. The waves aren't drowning me, and I don't even feel the spray anymore. Look, that's where I used to be, in that turmoil, and it's beautiful. And so you spend some time in the self, in your transcendence, and you realize, what's wrong with this picture? That's like saying that you went on a vacation for the purpose of finding out if you could do it without getting upset, without getting frustrated. Well, that's good. How you doing? Well, I got a little frustrated last year, 2 years ago. Last year, I hardly got frustrated at all. Really neat. Where are you going this year? Well, I don't know, Rome or this or that. We'll see if I can not get frustrated. Well, fine. So finally you do your thing. You don't get frustrated anymore, and hotel rooms are the way they are, and travel's the way it is. And look, I didn't get frustrated at all. It's fine. Now I wanted to try going on a vacation and enjoying the experience. Now that you're not fighting with it, now that you're not frustrated, now that you haven't defined everything as being a certain way, why don't you try participating in it? Literally, the energy is coming at you. You don't have to fight with it. It can pass over you and be beautiful. Dance. Dance with it. Here, I'll give you a better example. You're very, very shy, and you try to go to the school dances, and you step in for 10 seconds and you run away. Because you can't go there, you're too shy. Okay? And somebody's trying to work with you to see if you could actually stay at the dance. And it took a long time. And after dance and dance, you would sit down and you'd run away. And you'd sit down, and finally once, you were able to sit down and stay there for the whole party, the whole dance. And the next time you went, you did twice, then 3 times, and you ran to your teacher, the person who was helping you, says, I'm fine, it's fun, I'm done. Thank you so much. How could I ever thank you? Really? He says, yes, I can go there, and I can sit down and watch everybody and see what's happening, and I could see how all the emotions and jealousies and fears and insecurities were causing me to freak out, and now they don't, and I can just sit there, and then I leave. I can go to the dance and be fine. Okay, now dance with somebody. Try dancing. Because that's the ultimate state. That's why they say the Buddha drives the bus. That's why they say in the 10th stage of the ox herding pictures. I have those in the back of my book, The Search for Truth. It says, gourd in hand, barefoot, grinning, he returns to the marketplace. Wow. That is about as deep as they come. And that is what I just told you. He went through all of his stages of transcending himself. All of it. Of going into the depths of nirvana. And being transcendent to all the experiences of life. And then he returns to the marketplace. Why? Because it's not good enough to be able to go to the dance and sit down and not be affected by it. It's good enough compared to other people. Okay? They're either out dancing to get something or running away because they're afraid of it or doing something. And you made it. Almost. The truth of the matter is all that sickness that was going on, that was causing all this commotion, that was not the purpose that God created the heavens and earth, to cause you a hard time. He thought dancing was fun. And so he created dances for you. You're the one who went in there and said, Mary shouldn't be dancing with George and no one's dancing with me. And got yourself all sick so that you either had to run away or go fight with people. Now that you've gotten past that, dance. Dance. Why? Because the dance is there and you are there, so you dance. You heard me. Eventually, you can be in life, and not only does it not bother you, but you dance with it. If there's marriage, you marry. If there's children, you children. If there's no marriage, you don't marry. If there's no children, you don't children. No difference. There is nothing to get. There's nothing to lose. There is no better. There is no worse. There is no good. There is no bad. There is no right. There is no wrong. There is just the experience of life that blows to you like the breeze. And eventually you learn to dance with her. And when you can dance with life without bringing anything to the party that's personal, you move into what's called the Tao. You move into a place where there's movement, but you're not moving. Where there's action without motive. I told you, you're like the leaf that fell off the tree and the wind is blowing it. It is following a path, but the path is not its. But it is in perfect harmony with the path. But it is not ahead or behind. The wind determines the movement of the leaf. So life determines your life. And you dance with it. And that dance, Ramdas Kooled, once he wrote a book called The Only Dance There Is. That's the only dance there is. You hear me? And you learn to dance it. Honor it, appreciate it, love it to death. Every bit of it. And so this is when you come in harmony, and this is when you get to dance through life. And what I like, and I want you to see it, the whole psyche goes away. The whole psyche just goes away. No matter what's happening, she doesn't come back. Never complains, doesn't scared, no tension, no nothing. He's just there and it's there, and it just keeps dancing and doing and being, and you keep marveling. Right? That is the state of a yogi. That is the state of a great Zen master. That's the state of the Dalai Lama, isn't it? Take a look. That is the purpose of life. You are to enjoy life. But you're not to define what it has to happen for you to enjoy. See how close they are? Right? If I say to you, hey, you're supposed to enjoy life, you say, well, that's hedonistic. No. Hedonistic is to make up what you think is supposed to happen and go out there and make all this weird stuff happen. Right? Which ain't so enjoyable anyways. To enjoy life is to enjoy life. Not enjoy, I didn't say enjoy what you want. That's hedonistic. I said enjoy life. All of it. Every minute of it. Every second that naturally comes to you. To the best you can. Participate in it fully. Hold nothing back. Just love it. Dive into it. Give your whole being to the moment that stands before you. Because that is what it means to dance with God. Truly. God is manifesting before you each moment. What are you doing? Judging? Fighting? Struggling? Fearing? That's absurd. Participate in it. That is the true life of a yogi. And like I said to start, you have a choice. You're either living life or you're fighting with it. Chakrata.